Hey folks, welcome to episode 28 of the Nerdy Cool Dad podcast. I know it's been a couple days since I released an episode and I have to apologize, but I took the day off on Monday because I was so stressed out last week with work and things like that. And when you take a day off, I mean, it's great. I got a lot of shit done around the house and had a good time. But yeah, everything's waiting for you in with a lot more on top of that when you get back into the office, or my office, basically where I'm standing right now is my office. Anyways, yeah, so it's kind of, it is what it is. You got to prioritize things in life, work before play. That's what I try to teach people, and that's that's a good way to live your life, right? Yeah, so a lot's been going on since the last episode. I mean, in politics and things like that, it's just, I don't know, it seems to be much of the same. We saw the whole Lysol thing last week, and or not Lysol specifically, but disinfectants and injecting that in your body, and I'm pretty sure some people died from it. Not to laugh at that, but like, yeah, you probably know better than that. But yeah, not anything overly significant. I guess the biggest thing is that I kind of posted on my personal page in Facebook was just what some of the provinces are doing on Eastern Canada. So New Brunswick, they hadn't had any cases for X amount of days, so they decided to start, what's the word I'm looking for? Restarting the economy and getting people, used to seeing others and things like that. So they're starting with a bubble system. So essentially, you get to choose one family to hang out with for like 2 weeks, exclusively that family. So I'm thinking to myself, like, who would that be in my family if Ontario adopted a similar strategy? How long would that go for? So it's I don't know, it's interesting, something that people are gonna have to start keeping in mind. Just kind of as we reinstate or get rid of social distancing guidelines, which are still gonna be around for a while. I think the step is after 2 weeks, if there's still no more cases, then they open things up to like groups of 50. And then that's where things obviously can get a little crazy, but yeah, you got to start somewhere, and you gotta work your way up, and it is what it is. We're not dealing with something that any of us are used to, and there's measures in place, but we'll get through this. Absolutely. Yeah, as long as we have what we need at home, I suppose. I mean, for me, I'm gonna act super spoiled here, but I mean, I work from home. I'm an IT guy. I need good internet, and then all of a sudden last week, my internet started being dodgy. My laptop's kind of going in and out of service. Well, internet service or signal, and it has nothing to do with the speeds I'm receiving, but I called my ISP, which is Rogers, and Rogers, don't get me wrong, I moved to Rogers not that long ago, and they've been fantastic. Nothing but good things to say about them, which wouldn't have been the case in the past. But I noticed some issues, so I called them. They brought a tech out on the weekend, and he worked kind of remotely, like from my almost like right in front of my house. He was able to check the box on the exterior of the house as well, and he found some component that he had to fix. And anyways, since then it hasn't really gotten much better. There are other things I have to consider, like interference with other wires, things like that, other signals internally. I've got over 20 devices on Wi-Fi in my house, so that kind of is over the capacity of my my router, so I have to deal with things like that. But it is kind of weird. All of a sudden, everything was great, everything was hunky-dory, if you will, and all of a sudden it just stops working as it was in the past, and I haven't been doing anything different, so it's frustrating. And I'm a tech-savvy guy. I get this stuff, and I can't imagine how others must feel in these sort of situations where everything was working fine, and then all of a sudden it's not. Now I'm trying to come up with different ways that I can figure out how to fix this. Like maybe when you buy smart bulbs, something to consider. So I have a a lighting fixture in my living room has got 5 bulbs on it. All of them are smart bulbs. So each individual bulb counts as a Wi-Fi device or a Wi-Fi enabled device. So that's stuff like that starts to add up. So when you're automating your house, that's something you need to consider. Now, there's ways to get a smart switch instead of a smart bulb, which would essentially do the same thing. And that's kind of, I think, the direction I'm going to have to start going in. I got to be more conscious of all the Wi-Fi enabled devices I have in my house, so that I'm not creating interference or anything like that. Because that's kind of seems what's going on here. So I'm gonna fix that. A couple devices I don't really need online. I'm booting them off. Like, I don't need my Switch online all the time unless I'm playing something online. Any gaming consoles. I had a wall plug for my fireplace because I turned my fireplace on, through my Google Pods or Google Home in general. So different things like that. I'm consolidating, making it a little bit more simplistic. Hopefully it works because it's driving me fucking insane. I have to use a lot of VoIP calls and video calls, things like that, for work on a daily basis. And when they cut out or drop, it's not very good, obviously. So here's hoping we get that fixed, right? Today's a new day, right? Outside of that, you guys will probably all be familiar with this meme that's been going around on Facebook. It's like, by the end of quarantine, you're going to be hunky, chunky, or drunky. I feel like I'm going through every single cycle on a weekly basis. I was doing really well with the personal fitness, and then I threw my shoulder out, and it's still not any better. I need a chiropractor or a massage therapist so badly. It's really affecting me. It's driving me crazy. So I feel like I'm gaining weight again, which I'm really not gaining that much weight. I just don't feel as confident. And when you are working out, your muscles are more defined. So even not having that definition in like a chest or your arms and things like that makes you feel not as great as you did maybe previous weeks before. So it's not that big of a change, but I got to figure out some exercises I can do that aren't so focused on my upper body, and then are gonna give me the results I need, at least make me feel a bit better. Because I was doing lots of push-ups, I was doing burpees, I was doing some bench pressing, things like that. So now maybe I got to focus on the old core here and see what I can do. But it is frustrating. And then on the drinking part, I mean, I think most people are drinking, unless you're not a drinker. And pick your poison, whatever you're into. But it's something to consider. And I have a lot of friends that are servers or work in the hospitality industry, and they're kind of sharing some funny posts around like what people's appetite for alcohol is going to be like once they open up bars and things like that, which is going to be super interesting because I think people's tolerance has probably gone up significantly throughout this whole coronavirus pandemic. So I mean, for myself personally, my wife and I can drink 2 bottles of wine like nothing and wake up just fine the next day. So not that I want to display myself as an alcoholic or anything of that nature, but it's kind of interesting to see how these things pan out. And one thing that my wife started doing, which I'm a huge fan of, is we're doing cocktails now, which is fun. So on weekends and and like day drinking and stuff like that. Like, I don't do that during the week because I'm working. But if it's a nice day and like on the weekend it was, we're getting the cocktails going. We've got so many utensils and tools, things like that to make cocktails that we've acquired over the years. We've got a giant liquor cabinet. Like, I'm not a big hard liquor drinker, but now we're all out of gin, and now what am I gonna do, right? I've got a lot of white rum. I don't even like white rum, so maybe I can find something that I like. My wife made some margaritas the other day. They were pretty good. I've got tons of tequila that I brought home from Mexico, and it was. I don't know. I'm not even a big fan of tequila either. I've had too many bad memories, let's just say. But I don't mind it in a margarita at all. But I mean, God, you take those things back. It's not a big drink, but it's got 2 shots of alcohol in it, and 3 in the afternoon. It makes you feel pretty good. So gonna keep up on the On the cocktails, actually, a really good one that I really enjoyed. My wife made it was a cucumber Tom Collins. So it was just cucumber juice. So you take some cucumber, you muddle them down, get the juice. There's like a shot of lime juice, and obviously like an ounce or two of gin, and some soda water. And I love it. I think it's fantastic. I really like the sourness. I'm not big on sweet, so something like that is great for me. You can add the simple syrup if you want, but not my thing. I like a gin and soda with some lime, that sort of thing. So yeah, we'll keep going, and if we can think of some other drink ideas, I'll be sure to share them with you. I got cooking over the weekend, which is good. I've got a cooking video that I will probably launch either today or tomorrow, whenever I feel like it. I've done most of the editing on it, and it's doubles. If you ever had a double, oh, well, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, well, you'll enjoy my video. And oh man, it was, you know, I know I'm a pretty good cook, but this was one of the best things I've tasted in a long time. So I'm really excited to share that with you. It just kind of hits all the flavor notes of, you know, your savory, your sweet, your salty, your spicy. And it's just, it was so good when I ate the whole thing. So, you know, here we are, right? That's life in isolation for you. It's as exciting as it gets. But yeah, I mean, on that note, I'm wondering, like, are people running out of things to do? Have you finished your chore list or your to-do list? Are you procrastinating? For me personally, I'm in a weird spot. I bought a bunch of video games on the weekend. There was a cool a Capcom sale on the Nintendo Switch marketplace. So I got like a Dragon Ball Z fighting game that I really like. And what else? I got the original Resident Evil. It was a remake, which I don't know about. I haven't given it the time of day yet, but I really like the more action-packed versions. Like Resident Evil 4 is like one of my favorite games of all time. I was expecting it to be more like that, but it seems to be more of like a horror survival style, even though you have a gun and stuff like that. So I played like, I don't know, 20 minutes of it. So I got to give it a good go. That just wasn't quite what I was expecting right off the bat, but exciting to get into that. And yeah, the Dragon Ball Z fighting game I got is Dragon Ball Fighters. Pretty cool. I lost all the data. Long story short, I was running low on memory, and I found this micro SD card. I plugged it into my Switch. I did a data transfer, but it like broke. I don't know where all my data went. Luckily, I didn't transfer over my Pokemon data, or I would have lost my shit. But I literally just finished playing Breath of the Wild, which is a huge game. I had like a save file of almost 10 gigs, and I think that data is all gone. Unless it's archived somewhere. I don't know. I ordered a new micro SD online, and hopefully be here in a day or so. So we'll see. It's not the end of the world. I'm not going to go back and play that game. I played enough of it. I think I spent 2 months playing it. So I've had my fill. I'm happy. But yeah, it's still very frustrating. So note to self, if you find a memory card lying around, it's probably not the best quality. Or test it out first before you commit to you know, some big parts of your life to it, right? So something to consider, right? Anyways, that's I don't even know where I'm going with that, but yeah, video games are fun and you should play them. Yeah, and if you are looking for things to do now, this is probably not your thing. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't even know who my viewership is. It's mostly friends and family, so it's not like I'm all that popular. But anime is something I really like, and if you're not into anime, then you just won't get it. You'll think it's such a weird thing that people watch. But Netflix is making a big push to get some really popular animes in there now. So One Piece season 1 and 2 are going into Netflix soon. If you haven't ever watched that, that's in my top 3 animes of all time. So and it's still ongoing. It's so long. There's so many episodes, but it'd be a good start. Apparently they're bringing in Dragon Ball Z into Netflix, which would be fantastic. If you've got kids that are like, I don't know, like over the age of 6 to 8, Dragon Ball Z is the shit. Introduce them to that because it's fantastic, and you get to relive it yourself. So that's you know, it's a win-win. This one's a pretty cool one. Now I haven't confirmed that it's coming to Netflix Canada, but Bleach is one of my favorite animes as well. It's not in my top three, but it's up there. Um, they ended the anime series just kind of randomly, but they kept the manga going. Now it took me forever to read the manga and like finish it, and I did, and it literally, I'm not even exaggerating, it took me like 4 years because I would like read some and then I forget about it and I go back to it and I couldn't remember where I started or where I ended off. And anyway, so I finished it, but they decided to animate all those remaining issues. So that's great. So the final two seasons is apparently coming to Netflix, and I'm excited about that. I'm totally going to watch that. Now, they said this week. I hope it's in Canada as well. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to stream it off somewhere else. So there's always a way, right? So yeah, super pumped about that. And again, if you know what the hell I'm talking about, then don't worry about it. It's good fun. I would recommend it if you're into high action, super emotional drama. Basically, I don't know how else I would explain an anime, but I love it. So it's great. And outside of that, I think we're finally past the shitty kind of early spring weather we've been having for the last since this quarantine all started. At least from where I live in southern Ontario, it's been I don't know. It's been kind of depressing. It just hasn't been warm enough to really want to go outside, and now we're in like the double digits every day for the most part, and I'm excited about that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, was I expecting too much from April for whatever reason? Like, you have memories in the past, like, oh, I remember that April. It was lovely. Or even, remember March break, 1999? Oh, man, we were in t-shirts. So, I don't know. Your mind plays tricks on you, and I think you assume it's going to be nicer earlier, and it's not, and it's kind of depressing. But I think we've gotten through it. Yeah, definitely in the double digits all week long. I think Saturday is supposed to be like fantastic. At least when I checked a couple days ago, weather changes all the time, right? So, it is what it is. But I'm excited. I want to get out and do some stuff, at least as much as I can with the social distancing guidelines. But just doing work in the backyard or have a drink outside and just hang out. Something I'm looking forward to doing. But that's the show for today. I got a lot of shit I got to do for work still. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and stay the fuck home.